What's going on, guys? Legit MHX here, back with another Marvel Spider-Man PS4 video. And in today's video we got a lot of interesting things to talk about regarding Spider-Man PS4, and a lot of details, a lot of news that I've all collected together in this one video that we've gotten recently, as well as just some stuff I want to talk about and tell you guys about Spider-Man PS4. Before I do get into it, remember to leave a like and also subscribe if you guys haven't already, as usual, all that stuff. But anyways, before I do get into the specific news, I do want to talk about the actual Game Informer magazine for Spider-Man PS4 and the articles and stuff that's within that magazine. Recently I did get to pick it up in Australia because it came out like really late in Australia. But if you guys do have the ability to go out and buy the actual magazine, I would highly recommend it because it does have a lot of stuff within it. I read it and it's got a lot of new stuff within it. Nothing like, oh, this is within the game. It's more so just like describing everything, and it gives you a good idea of where they're heading towards with the game and what they're planning on doing with the story, how it starts off, again, web swinging, combat, all that stuff. It's a good description, it's a good read to have. And if you guys if you can't get the magazine physically, because it does look really good physically, then do check it out digitally. I think you can find probably a free digital version somewhere. I'll see if I can find a link or something to put down in the description below. But anyways, guys, remember to check that out, because it is something that's, if you are a true Spider-Man PS4 fan and you want to know everything about this game, that's a definite read, and I think it will help you guys a lot to understand what this game is going to be about. So with that being said, let's get into the actual video in terms of the news. And basically the main thing that I wanted to talk about is that the Spider-Man 2099 suit has sort of been confirmed almost. It hasn't been, like, I was a bit surprised, I saw it, some people were talking about it on the Insomniac server, and I was just like, wait, when was this confirmed? And apparently it was actually in one of the European, Italian articles, which I didn't know existed, but it apparently did. It was like called from or something, everyeye, sorry if that was completely wrong, everyeye.it. Basically they said, and I quote, well, I mean, it was in Italian I think, but I'll quote the translation. Basically they said, it goes from Spider-Punk to Spider-Noir, from the futuristic suit of 2099 to the suit seen in the Avengers movie. Now, the suit seen in the Avengers movie, if you guys have been up to date on your leaks and everything, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, because a lot of people got copyright strikes when they talked about this suit, but I think I'm just not allowed to show anything, like any footage of the leak stuff. But basically it was sort of confirmed that the Infinity War Iron Spider suit is the second pre-order suit. But I don't want to talk about that too much because I don't want a copyright strike. The main thing, you guys can find out, search it up, you guys can find out if you look hard enough. But the main thing that I haven't seen much people talk about is the Spider-Man 2099 suit. They practically said within this article that it goes from, there will be the Spider-Man 2099 suit. So it hasn't been officially said by Insomniac, but these guys did go to Insomniac Games studio and they got a first-hand experience with the game. So they wouldn't just say this out of nowhere. Maybe they were shown something, maybe they were told about the Spider-Man 2099 suit. But I think it is a clear indication that the possibility of it being in the game is pretty high, and they straight out said it. So I really do think the Spider-Man 2099 suit is definitely going to be in the game now. What we can also speculate is that, is it going to be the third pre-order suit? Because we do know the first one is the Spider-Punk suit, second one is the suit that I'm not allowed to talk about because I don't want a copyright strike, Infinity War suit, and the third one is, we don't know it yet. They said they were going to announce it near July. Is this sort of, I don't know if this would be a leak because they were shown it, but if they were going to release it in July, I mean, it could be the Spider-Man 2099 suit. Maybe the July one was supposed to be the one that got leaked. I don't know, but it might be the third pre-order suit. I think if Insomniac was to show other people some of the suits that they are going to have within the game, it's probably going to be the pre-order ones, because those are going to be the ones that everyone's going to know about prior to the game actually releasing. Those are you're going to be pre-ordering the game because you want those 3 suits, and they're going to tell us those 3 suits first. So they're not going to tell some secret suit that we're not going to find out until we get the game to these European journalists and stuff that want to find out about the game, because that just doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so the 2099 suit is confirmed, I think it is highly possible that the 2099 suit is actually the third pre-order bonus suit for Spider-Man PS4. And again, guys, you can get these suits within the game. It's not locked to pre-order. You can still craft them and unlock them and all that stuff within the actual game. It's early access for those that pre-order it. Now, with that being said, I have some interesting details about the actual web swing within the game, and Insomniac have talked about it a bit on their Twitter, and there's been this sort of discussion about some of the things within the web swing. Basically, one of my questions was, I didn't ask this to them, but one of my questions was, what happens when you swing too low? Because we know sometimes in some games, Web of Shadows, if you swung too low, you would like, walk as you swung, sort of, or ran as you swung. In like the TASM games, you would literally fly through vehicles and stuff and glitch, and it wouldn't look that fluid, and you'd go through cars and stuff, and it just wouldn't look good. So I was curious as to what Insomniac was gonna do when you swung too low, and it looks like you can't swing too low, which is interesting. But basically, I'll tell you guys what they said. Basically, Amazing Lucas sort of quoted a tweet with the new footage, or this GIF that you whatever that you guys should be seeing. It's sort of like an extended footage of that Times Square swinging, and basically he said that there's not enough dip in the pendulum of the swing. In my opinion, that's what's throwing it off. Now, when I read this, I was like, holy crap, there is actually not that much dip in the swing, it's just sort of like going forward and stuff, and I'm like, why is that happening? And I was a bit like unsure, because I didn't notice that at first, but then once he pointed it out, I was like, yeah, that I'm not sure about that, am I gonna be doing that when I'm at high points and stuff? It's a bit iffy. But Insomniac actually went in depth, into detail, did multiple tweets talking about this. So I'll basically read it out. They said, just to loop back to reply, consider that if Spidey is too close to the ground, he wouldn't shoot a web line that would swing him into the street. He'd shoot a line to a point closer to him so he wouldn't hit the ground. Our game determines attach points so you get a swing. Amazing Lucas then replied, which is a good way of summing it up, because I'm not that good of doing that, but he did it perfectly. He said, so essentially the system automates the web line so Spidey doesn't hit the ground while web swinging, whether that's a long web line or a shorter web line. The sweet spot then would be to swing at mid-height while swinging to get the full pendulum effect. Interesting. I think it is very interesting. Basically, it's sort of showing that we already know that there's like all the calculations and physics and stuff that's going on about when you can swing and what type of swing it will be depending on where you are and stuff like that, but it's gone even more in depth to the height of the actual swing, and that will determine where Spidey actually attaches his web on the building. There's also two more tweets that I'll quickly just read out and go over a bit more. Insomniac Games said, but also consider that if Spidey is too close to the ground, he wouldn't shoot a web line that would swing him into the ground. He would shoot a line to a point closer to him so he wouldn't hit the ground. The third tweet is, well, it depends on your relation to the roof line too, because if you get too high, the pendulum can't be as big due to your web line being shorter. So that's very interesting. Basically, what they're saying is that depending on your positioning, your height within how high you are, that would determine where the game actually attaches the web line when you actually swing. So like basically, if you're very, very low, Spidey's gonna shoot out a web and it's gonna attach to a building that's to the height that's not very high, because if you did go very high, you'd do a very big pendulum. The curve would be, the dip would be really low. But if you attach the web to somewhere closer to your height, then you're just gonna do a small pendulum. There's not gonna be much dip, and you're just gonna be going sort of straight, and sort of like your direction's gonna be straight. You're not gonna go down and come back up and go down. Like if you guys remember in TASM 2, you'd do this really weird thing where you'd actually, you'd go down, and when you come back up, you just stop midair and you just start falling down. Like there'd be no momentum. But if you actually just spam the swing button, then you'd like fly forward. It's sort of like that, except the animations look good, and it's based on your height and not like wherever you are. So basically, if you're low, you're still swinging, and maybe the speed's not as much as doing the full pendulum, but since you are lower, that's where you can like sort of attach lower and actually then get higher and higher and get that pendulum going. It's very interesting how much detail is actually going into this. So even when you're at the top, you can't actually attach a web higher than the top of a building. So if you're very high up, you're going to be doing small pendulums as well. So it shows that you need to act. The argument that was made against this was that that sort of takes out the skill of it, because the game's automatically attaching the web. But it also does the opposite. Like you can also argue the opposite, where you need to skillfully position yourself so that you're taking the full effect of the pendulum and going as fast as possible, and that dip will give you the momentum, and you can really, I think, change up the web swinging. So you go from a low level web swinging to going like straight forward, or then you can go up and get that pendulum, swing over buildings, doing all those tricks and stuff with the web zip and web tunnel and all that stuff. It's looking very interesting. If you guys do look at this, just think about it a bit more, how it's gonna work. It does seem like it's a lot more in-depth, detailed web swinging than we've ever gotten before. It's not the tradition, like every web swing will pretty much be different, which is kind of crazy to think about, because you have a lot of control. You have more control than you might think, because of the positioning of yourself constantly will actually affect it. Now, another thing that I personally want to know about is whether or not is what determines how many hands you web swing with, because sometimes you've seen one hand, right hand, left hand, or both hands, and is that going to affect the speed, the momentum? Is two hands going to be like the fastest? Is one hand going to be just like sort of swinging freely? I don't know, but the web swinging does seem really in depth, and from hearing this, some people are saying, oh, it's because they couldn't be bothered to make the animation for swinging too low. Maybe, but I mean, I think it's better this way. You wouldn't want to swing too low, hit the ground, like it just wouldn't work. Or maybe hit a car and then stop swinging. That wouldn't work with the idea that they're going for, and the idea they're going for is that Peter Parker is more skilled. He is a master at what he's doing, so he shouldn't be swinging too low and falling down into a car and stuff like that. So I get it, and I understand completely, and I think that does make the web swinging it makes it much better, even though you might have not noticed it when you actually played the game. Thinking about that actual detail that went into it, the actual physics and the intention of what they had to make that web swinging that realistic, it's kind of crazy, and I really do like that. So height will actually be a big factor into the web swinging. Talked about that a lot. Let's get into some of the other things. Those were the two main things, guys: the alternate suits with the Spider-Man 29 suit and the other suit, and then also this web swinging thing. But there's also 4 things that I just want to tell you guys about. Nothing too in depth like the first 2, but 4 things I want to tell you guys about, just to clear up some ideas, misconceptions, stuff like that. It has been confirmed that there is no charge jump within the game, which it might be a bit of a disappointment to some people. I don't know about myself. I think it's fine if they can make it work without the charge jump. I don't think it's a requirement. Some people really wanted the charge jump to go alongside the sprint button, but sadly it's not there. I mean, I don't know if it's sadly. I think it can work. The game can definitely work without it. But if you did really want the charge jump, it's not in the game. Also, some people are sort of, they've always wanted, no, not always wanted, but they want this game to have not be as Arkham. I think in Arkham Knight, yeah, you could counter dodge. They've confirmed that there's no counter dodge button within the game, just dodge. So for those people that were concerned about that, there you go. There is no counter dodge. There's just dodge. Third, the web swinging, or the normal webbing that you have is unlimited. But I think the gadgets and the use of those gadgets are limited. So I don't know how that's gonna work. How do you get more gadgets? If you've used like the web bomb 10 times, are you out of it, and how are you gonna get it back? I don't know how that's gonna work, but they did sort of say that's sort of limited. Last one is pretty interesting. I mean, it's just a fun, cool thing. You can actually, if there's a helicopter flying by, you can actually swing and attach onto the helicopter and sort of, be taken away by the helicopter and just fly across the city, just holding onto your web. I thought that was pretty cool. But that does come to the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and did learn a bit about this game a bit more, specifically 29 suit and the web swing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this 29 suit is confirmed? If it is, I mean, it shows it here. I'll link the article down below if you guys want to see it. But do you think its 29 suit is going to be in the game? If it is going to be in the game, do you think it's going to be a pre-order suit? And the main thing I want to ask you guys is, what do you think the ability is going to be for the 2099 suit? That's going to be interesting to see. A lot of people are saying for if there is a Infinity War Iron Spider suit in the game, that the arms are going to come out, and that's going to be some type of combat move or something like that. That'd be cool. But let me know what you guys think about the 2099 suit and what ability that suit might have. Also, for the web swinging, let me know what you guys think about the web swing, and that this sort of addition to the actual web swing, where the height of the position of your height within the city and relative to the buildings is actually going to affect how you actually swing, and the pendulum effect and all that stuff. But anyways, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, leave a like if you guys did, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and this was once again Legit MHX signing out.